It's Red Eye Radio. Gary McNamara and Eric Harley talk about everything from politics to social issues and news of the day. Whether you're up late or you're just starting your day, welcome to the show. From the Uniden America Studios, this is Red Eye Radio.
All across America, we are Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Welcome and good morning. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Well, we're 7 days away.
We are. That's right.
Almost there. In the news, the president spoke last night in a primetime address. I just like, whenever I wake up, I just love going on X and then seeing how anything is analyzed, and the president's speech was viewed by like Newt Gingrich as one of the most important speeches. People will look back at it and say it's one of the most important speeches he's ever made. I didn't know that Dick Morris was an advisor to Trump. Did you?
I had no idea that Dick Morris had a job altogether.
It just
I thought he was kind of retired. Yeah,
I saw it on X, and the headline was advisor to President Trump. I didn't know that. He goes, one of the greatest speeches ever. To the other side, Hakeem Jeffries said he's scared, and this is gonna totally benefit Democrats. I just love it's actually somewhere in the middle. It was a speech that did no harm. It was headed in the direction of what you said the president should have done from day one.
Yeah.
It was headed in that. It wasn't fully there, but it was in the direction of what you said he should have said from day one, and even campaigned, and not had said day one prices will start coming down.
Right.
But the fact of what he said, this is going to be tough for us. We're going to work at it every day, and here are the things we're going to do. And so you're going to have to stick with us for a consistent period of time. But the president over the last month has been all over the place on this. Affordability. It's a hoax. It's a Democrat hoax. It's a Democrat hoax.
Right.
Well, you know how you know it's not a Democrat hoax? Because he made a speech on it last night.
Well, if you get to the point that there needs to be a primetime address, that's when it's kind of an old school move, because even if all the networks carry it, nobody cares about the networks anymore, right? Mm-hmm. It used to be you can't avoid it. Unless you turned your TV off or your radio off. But it is one of those moves still today that is seen as we need a primetime address on this.
Yeah.
And if that is it, then you know that there has been, it's exactly what we have seen, the evidence of the administration greatly concerned about, and we saw it with the GOP. Ramaswamy really kind of started that. Actually, Red Eye Radio did. Ramaswamy on affordability, and it was a very short video that he put out there. But clearly, everyone on the right, including the president, heard it, and they looked at it. But this also reeks of their internals, showing this is what's going on. Because you don't make a move based on, well, this president might, based just on social media. You make a move based on your internals. A move like this had to be put together likely because your internals were just coming back with this continuing sour note of unaffordable. And that's where they are. That's where they are right now.
And we saw it with the president when we did that last rally, where he was saying, affordability is a Democrat hoax, and then right after that said, well, it's not necessarily a hoax,
right.
Because, and it was like, just stop it.
Right.
And he, I don't believe he made the mistakes that he made during that rally on some of the things that he said, because it was just, when the president came out and said in that rally, it was a week and a half ago, that you may want to not, just don't buy as many pencils, don't buy as many dolls, telling the American public, in order to handle something that is a hoax, you should be buying less if it's too expensive.
Yeah, control your spending.
Right, it's just not a message that Republicans should ever send out. I'm not saying it's not good financial advice to people that are going into debt to buy all the things that they want. I mean, there's a difference, though, between a financial counselor telling you, look, you need to cut back and not get into debt, than the president that the overall philosophy of the economy should be to buy less. There's a difference to that.
Right.
But I don't think he did any damage. I don't think it was a great speech. I do think it was good, as I said, that he seemed to be heading in the direction that you said he should have been from day one.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact is, if you bring up from day one, and it's a consistent message all along that you have to fight what's going on with the Biden administration, what you got from the Biden administration, that's one thing.
Right.
But when your polls even show, because that's why he did this speech,
Mm-hmm.
that's why everything has changed since the election in November.
Right.
They know it is a problem, but they also know that their polls show the American public now blames Trump.
Well,
and
yeah.
To reverse that politically is almost impossible. That's the challenge that he has.
Right. The way to reverse it is to not just not through actions by the administration. It's those actions getting results. And the chances of any actions getting results to the extent that you could reverse this politically to the point you need to by November 3rd of next year are slim to none, because that's the policy. I forget who it was that wrote a couple of months ago. You need to roll it out now. You got to go now. You've got to get this, whatever it's going to be on the economy. You're going to have to roll this out now so that it can be well underway, and you hope to get those results by mid-year next year, and you start building that momentum. It was a solid speech in that, all right, there's nothing that's really was, again, we can look at and go, oh, my gosh, why did he say that? It was a solid speech. It wasn't the Mount Rushmore speech. It wasn't one of those, for the Newt Gingrich or Dick Morris or anybody else. The Mount Rushmore speech
was still the best speech he's ever given.
It's by far.
Yeah. And
it's because of the situation that they're in and where this should have been in 2024 as a part of the campaign, this messaging that you heard tonight, again, far too late, I believe, but it's still solid messaging, and that's going to have to be the new messaging. You're going to have to get away from telling people that things are, getting better for them. You can't say that to the people that are paying for it. You just can't say that.
Well, it wasn't, after the whole Susie Wiles thing, I went, I have no idea where they're going to go now.
Right.
What's going on inside the White House with that? Especially the Susie, Wiles, everything that she had said. And by the way, there were some funny articles written yesterday, on that. It's a hit piece. It's a hit piece that you gave them 11 interviews to make it even a better hit speech.
Yeah,
Did you not say these things? Are you denying all of it? Because the one thing she claimed she denied is when it was, okay, here's the actual tape of it.
Right.
And, and again, the New York Times said she said it. They've heard the tape.
Right.
She did not deny it yesterday. I don't believe
Right.
the New York Times, but I believe what the response is going to be, what the response.
We wait for responses.
Yeah, we wait
exactly.
for the response. And,
Right.
and she didn't say, no, that's wrong, or that's AI, or whatever. And so when you get burned on the one thing that you say, no, there's misinformation on it, and I never said that, and the claim is you said it, and you don't rebut it afterwards when they claim you have it on tape, that's a problem there. But at least it wasn't. I was like, my God, is he going to give the malaise speech? And it wasn't a malaise speech.
No.
So that was good. I
Right.
thought that was good that it wasn't that.
No, it was a solid speech,
right.
but it wasn't. What the question is, was it a needle mover?
Well, no, one of the things, again, where it's easily picked up even by his own base is when he said, again, promoted tariffs are great, yet he removed them from 200 different, products just a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
The American public isn't stupid.
Right.
We said it a long time ago, and there were a ton of Republicans that jumped on it. And we said, if you put on tariffs, even if it's for good reasons, and there's justifiable reasons, especially for China, we think the president did it completely wrong, though. He should have isolated China and brought all of our friendly trading partners together. But it seems like he sort of did the opposite. Let's alienate the friendly trading partners and, be wishy-washy on China.
Right.
And that to us was a problem. We're not saying the tariffs can't be used effectively, but we believe the way that it was done, number one, we believe part of it is unconstitutional, at least at the minimum, but because that's Congress's job, because it is a tax.
Yeah.
It is a tax.
Right.
We don't like the fact that the president lied about over and over again, even recently, that foreign countries pay for it. He didn't do that last night, though.
No.
But you can't sit there and tell people when you make the move, because they promoted it. See, the president cares about the economy. He's bringing down prices. He's taking tariffs off 200 different, grocery products and other products that you buy. And then a day later say, tariffs are great.
Yeah, right.
So, that doing that last night, I thought hurt. But again, it's not a needle mover either way.
No, it isn't.
So
again, a solid speech, but you're not going to get I don't know, if you're looking for a head start bump into the midterm season, I don't see that happening. We'll see what the GOP is going to do in all the House races. That's the House races. This is what everybody's watching, because the great concern is that Trump loses. The great concern is that he loses both the House and Senate. But the focus really is on those House seats, and the GOP now. You can tell. All right, we're going to have to do something. There's and unlike his first term, he has had, for the most part, on everything, he has had great control and support by his own party. In his first term, he didn't have that. It was quite unfortunate for him, but he didn't. And we talked about it then. We said, look, he should be out there every day saying, call your GOP lawmakers and representatives and tell them I need money for the wall. Because that was the big thing he was trying to do. I need to get that $25 billion. I want to get the wall built. I'm going to need help from Congress on that, and I'm not getting help from the people on Capitol Hill. But he wasn't within his own party. He didn't have the support like he has had in his second term so far. Well, things start changing when you're campaigning in your district and people are complaining to you directly, and that's where it's all at. That's where everything is going to happen. And it will be interesting looking at the campaigns and what's going to happen there, how health care is going to, or Obamacare is going to shape up. It's just, again, it's a massive mountain to climb between now and November 3rd.
Well, I saw it was Kayleigh McEnany talking about yesterday. She was saying that Trump, his approval at this time in the second term, by the average of the polls is higher than both Obama and George Herbert Walker Bush. Just not a lot, but, like half a percentage to a percentage point ahead, depending on which group of polls that you're looking at. And I was thinking to myself, yeah, but when George Herbert Walker Bush was done, Obama became president, and after Obama's term, Trump became president. So I don't know.
Well, after George W. Bush, Obama became president.
What did I say? Herbert Walker?
Herbert Walker, yeah.
Oh, I mean George W. Bush.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But the fact is that doesn't matter. Trump gets extremely high ratings, for example, on things, as he should, with immigration, law enforcement, all that. It's all good. Foreign relations, and he's earned that.
If I'm confounded by anything, it's that there is everything else. He's crushing it on.
Yeah, he's doing very, very well in the polling. on the economy, he's in the tank.
And
Prices, he's in the tank. That's the reality of it. And that's the only thing, even though people give you high ratings elsewhere, the only thing they care about right now is the economy. And that's why the president did the speech last night.
Right.
Ramaswamy was right. They got to focus on it. And as you've seen, we've said it from day one.
Mm-hmm.
And they're finally focusing on it. Whether they will focus on it the right way, though, is the question.
Right.
And whether it will make any difference this late by the time we get to next year. I hope it does.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want Democrats to win in Congress. You know, we said it before. We had two choices, Democrats or Republicans. We voted for the Republican 3 times in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Republicans aren't perfect. Democrats,
oh my gosh.
I don't know one thing that I can agree with on, from them. So obviously, I voted for Trump 3 times, and if he was up there again, whoever the candidate would be, AOC. You saw that poll, right?
Yeah.
Where AOC beats J.D. Vance. Don't worry too much about that, folks.
Yeah.
But Trump would still get my vote for all of his flaws.
Mm-hmm.
There is no perfect human being right now running for president, and there never has been one.
Right, because I've never run.
Okay, now we can take a break. We are Red Eye Radio.
Brought to you by Hot Shot Secret.
Hi, I'm Jen Loomis, a transport safety expert at J.J. Keller. Due to safety concerns, many motor carriers have policies that limit or prohibit the use of cruise control. You should only use it in good driving conditions, during daylight hours, and on roads that have light traffic, few curves or hills, and a consistent speed limit. Never use cruise control when operating in adverse driving conditions, including wet, icy, or slippery roads, during rush hour in heavy traffic or on congested highways, at night, or when you're tired or fatigued. You want to be controlling and adjusting your speed as you drive instead of having to suddenly brake if you encounter an obstacle. In the case of a slippery road surface, you want to be able to slow your vehicle by not accelerating instead of using the brakes whenever possible. This tip was brought to you by J.J. Keller and Associates. Visit us at jjkeller.com.
Coming up, more with Gary McNamara and Eric Harley. It's Red Eye Radio.
We are Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Almost forgot your name.
Hello.
Here's some clips from the president's speech last night.
In the new year, I will announce some of the most aggressive housing reform plans in American history. A major factor in driving up housing costs was the colossal border invasion. We have never been invaded. This is the worst thing that, frankly, in my opinion, the worst thing that the Biden administration did to our country is the invasion at the border. The last administration and their allies in Congress brought in millions and millions of migrants and gave them taxpayer-funded housing while your rent and housing costs skyrocketed.
I thought it was good that we started out with that, what the plan's going to be. I think he should have stuck with that instead of going to illegal immigration, because we already know that. If you've got a plan and people are looking to buy a house, promote that a little bit and tease that a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Also, he said this, which I thought, this is what made it so it was not the Malay speech.
But most importantly, we will celebrate the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. There could be no more fitting tribute to this epic milestone than to complete the comeback of America that began just 1 year ago. When the world looks at us next year, let them see a nation that is loyal to its citizens, faithful to its workers, confident to its identity, certain to its destiny, and the envy of the entire globe.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, that was not ad lib.
No, which is what I said yesterday. I'm very interested to see how the speech is written, because it's when it's a primetime address, it is, you stick to the script. Of course, that's not going to be 100% with Trump ever, but that was a great line.
Walking in a winter wonderland. Gary and Eric on Red Eye Radio.
And he is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Good morning. Merry Christmas. Download our Red Eye Radio app today, and you can listen when and where you choose. I thought this was, what you want to hear if you're promoting affordability here. This is the president, and again, we've talked about this when you do something, you should promote it over and 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 over again. And with the tax cuts coming up this year because of the big beautiful bill, I don't believe Republicans have promoted that enough. And you always need to promote over and over again what you're doing. This was from last night.
1 year ago, our country was dead. We were absolutely dead. Our country was ready to fail, totally failed. Now, we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. And that's said by every single leader that I've spoken to over the last 5 months. Next year, you will also see the results of the largest tax cuts in American history that were really accomplished through our great, big, beautiful bill, perhaps the most sweeping legislation ever passed in Congress. We wrapped 12 different bills up into one beautiful bill. That includes no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. Under these cuts, many families will be saving between $11,000 and $20,000 a year, and next spring is projected to be the largest tax refund season of all time.
Now, just a note, I don't see any of that.
Blah, 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 blah.
My Social Security is still going to be taxed to the maximum.
Right.
And that's because I've chosen not to retire.
Right. You're doing the responsible thing, so clearly the only thing to do is punish you.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and by the way, that's not on Trump. It's happened in every administration.
No, it's just the way it works.
Yeah, I don't want to sit there and make it sound like Trump or the Republicans are exclusive to that one. But as we did say back in 2017, when the Republicans cut taxes, both your taxes and my taxes went up.
Yeah. Yes.
So that's why we were scared to death of Democrats getting in power, because when Republicans cut taxes, Eric and Gary's taxes go up.
Yeah.
God help us if Democrats get in power.
Yeah.
And that was because of deductions that were taken away from us because of business things that we've been involved in, which, by the way, we disagreed with that. We think that the tax cut bill overall was a great tax cut bill. But some of the deductions they took away, we think it's wrong to take away deductions that actually will help drive the economy and actually bring in more money down the road.
Right. Yeah.
Because the deductions that were taken away from us, I don't want to get into the specifics of it because I'm not going to get into our particular personal business activities. But the fact is, the deductions that were taken away from us made it where there's less incentive to actually create more wealth and pay more taxes. Mm-hmm. And so that would, and legitimately is what we said back then, but we were in complete agreement with it. But, the tax cuts and everything are fine. But did I save it from yesterday? I'm trying to see if I saved it from yesterday because did I? Because I don't know if I played this one. I had taken another Milton Friedman cut. Did I play the one the other day where he said that that it's spending?
Yeah.
I think I did. Didn't I?
We played it.
Yeah, the only thing that matters is spending.
Right.
The only thing that matters is spending.
Right.
Because there is, as he said, there is no unbalanced budget. Every budget is balanced. It's you just pay for it either in interest or inflation.
Right. Yeah, there
wondering.
is a balance.
Yeah, there is
always
a
counter.
balance, right?
There's a counter to the action, but it's But then when it comes to spending, the only thing that matters is spending. But the only people it matters to is a handful of us now.
So talking about what's coming down the pike is always good. You always promote the things that you do that's going to put money in people's pockets. When he says, for example, this is the hottest we've ever been as a country and people don't feel it, he shouldn't be doing that. That goes back to Biden.
Right. Yeah.
That goes back to the Biden. People look at that and go, you're tone deaf when you do it.
Right.
It's the same thing when he was last week when he was, when he did that rally and told people not to buy fewer things. That was not good.
Right.
And so, again, overall, it was a speech that really didn't move the needle either way because people already, and they know it. That's why he did the speech. This is Trump's economy.
Yeah.
And the reason he spent a lot of time blaming, blaming Biden is because they're trying to get people to blame Biden.
Right.
And not that Biden isn't at fault.
Right.
But the fact is, once you're in for a period of time, the people have come out and say, it's your economy. And once they do that, they don't revert back. That's the way politics works. It isn't exclusive to, this president. You saw yesterday the couple of things where I saw people, defending Trump by saying, well, but you had Obama that blamed Bush for all 2 years, or excuse me, all 2 terms.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he did, right.
Mm-hmm.
And he was mocked for that. That hurt him. And then after he was done, who became president of the United States? So when you're looking at effective political messaging, it's not just they used the message, it's did it work for them?
Right.
And it didn't work for him. He was mocked. He was mocked continually because remember when it got to be a joke? Everything became Bush's fault.
Oh, yeah.
Everything was Bush's fault.
Well, that was Bush's fault was the tagline on everything. It just became so, and then it becomes mundane because everyone's going, okay, yeah, we've heard that joke. We've heard that punchline over and over again, but we know the truth. This is the point, is that you're judged based on your work and the results of your work.
Well, remember, it got to the point, people have short memories. We don't. Remember when, and I don't remember exactly when it was. What year was it that Obama just didn't do anything, really didn't do any type of speeches for like 6 months? And it's when you and I told him, we said, you need to shut up.
Well, it was his press conferences. His numbers were tanking after every press conference.
Right.
Because he went on these very long rabbit hole answers for every question. And the thought was, well, he's trying to avoid taking a lot of questions, so he's giving 10-minute answers to every question. And we were like, dude, you got to quit doing press conferences.
And he did.
And he did for months. And it actually also turns out that we said, at some point, you're going to have to get back to doing press conferences. And 2 days later, the White House announced he would be doing a press conference.
And that's the only the other thing with Trump is when I woke up and looked at social media, there was no buzz on the speech.
Right.
But there's a reason. There's a legitimate reason for that. Not that they shouldn't have given the speech. But the fact is, remember the last administration. If Biden gave a speech, he hadn't really talked or taken questions for months.
Right.
It was like, whoa, Biden's going to do something. Or Obama when he didn't for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh, Obama's going to speak. Trump's in your house every day talking.
Yeah. It's constant exposure.
Yeah, there's no president that's constantly there. Mm-hmm. So when he announces a primetime speech, it's like, so he'll be talking more today and as he did yesterday and the day before.
Right.
There is no anticipation that, okay. And the only anticipation was, as you and I said, the first reaction from all of us was, oh boy, are we going to war with Venezuela? I mean, that was the point, because we're thinking he wants a primetime speech now. Is he going to ask officially Congress to declare war on Venezuela? And it was just like, whoa, this thing really, if he did, this thing accelerated really, really quick. What will the response be to something like that? And it wasn't. But that was the first thing, And then when people realized, no, he's just going to talk about the economy, the buzz was gone because he talks about everything every single day.
Right.
It was just like, it's a primetime speech. Okay, it's a different time, but he talks all the time.
Right.
And posts all the time. He's posting 24/7. You and I will sit here at 3 a.m. going, my God, he's up posting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
So,
I mean, it's and that's something that is unique to him.
but it also, the negative is everything becomes blah, 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 blah.
Well, because the question, if there's any concern at all, the question would be, yeah, but what's he going to say tomorrow morning? Because he's going to say something tomorrow morning.
Yeah,
he will be making statements throughout the day. Remember when, what was it, about a month or two ago? He went like a weekend without really making any. He was at Mar-a-Lago, and the media lost their ever-loving mind. Is there something wrong with him? And that's how exposed he's been by his own doing, by his own choice. He wants to be out there, and we said it in the first term, sometimes to a fault. He does not avoid the media.
No, not at all.
He runs towards the media. I'm convinced there are reporters around the White House going, Mr. President, it's almost midnight. I'd like to go home. Yeah, but I'm not done. I got one more thing.
But that was the whole sick thing.
Yeah.
What, 3 weeks ago was that? 3
Yeah,
weeks ago?
it was roughly, I think, a month ago.
And it was, he even came out and goes, my God, I take a day off. And it's like, what the hell?
Right.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I've more, but that's the reason. You talk every day. So if you don't talk for 2 days or even a day and a half, it's like, what's going on? Because that's your nature.
Right.
It's not a bad thing unless you lose the public because you're always talking.
Remember in the December government shutdown during his first term, he stayed at the White House? He was the only member of government actually talking, and he was talking every day basically from the White House, to the media. I mean, he said, no, I don't think I should be going anywhere. If there's a government shutdown, I should just stay here and keep working so that we can end the shutdown. But he was and has always been ever present in the media. And that's been his branding before he was president, and that's his philosophy as a public servant, which is not a bad philosophy. Again, sometimes you should take a break
and
regroup, but it's that kind of transparency is something people scream for.
Right, but there's in the particular point when you're trying to sell something or trying to create an event, it's very tough to create an event that you're going to be giving a primetime speech when you talk every single day.
Right.
And you're constantly on social media. Here's the president with this person, his comments here, his comments here, his comments here. Of course, just naturally, there isn't going to be a sense of, well, this is going to be a great event once you realized it wasn't about going to war with Venezuela.
Right, yeah.
And with the Biden, who never spoke, or even Obama, who, again, went significant period of times without giving press conferences, nobody does what this president does. Therefore, if they were going to, give a primetime speech, people wondered what in the world it was going to be about because we haven't heard from him.
Right.
You heard from Trump yesterday, and the day before,
right.
and the day before, and the day before that, and the day before that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, it's like saying, on a 24-hour news channel, tomorrow evening we're going to have a broadcast.
No.
Well, you're there. You're always there.
It's the mocking that was done for breaking news on Fox.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was breaking news.
Oh, yeah.
If everything's breaking news, then nothing is breaking news.
Right. No, they came back from every break with the breaking news sounder.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Where it was mocked at a point. Even conservatives mocked it. It was mocked. I think the Babylon Bee even mocked it. It was well, then there's no breaking news.
Right.
If everything is breaking news. We are Red Eye Radio.
Get in touch with Red Eye Radio, toll free at 866-90-RED-EYE.
We are Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Wow, the Oscars after they're done with their run, on ABC, I think?
Yeah.
Since 1976, they've been on ABC. Final broadcast will occur in 2028, and then the Oscars will go to YouTube.
Yeah, it will be weird seeing the whoever's hosting every year do the AG1 commercial. But AG1's a popular, I guess, health-related drink, and I don't know how many YouTubers do the commercials for them. Nothing against that company. It's just the fact that they're going to YouTube. You know, what are you going to say? Click subscribe and the like button. It is, though, you know, it is the future. Things are going to streaming. The question is, YouTube is a vast world. Is it going to disappear even more as an award show?
Top of the Hour News is brought to you by House Products. Visit houseproducts.com.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One. Now, it's Red Eye Radio. Gary McNamara and Eric Harley talk about everything from politics to social issues and news of the day. Whether you're up late or you're just starting your day, welcome to the show. From the Uniden America Studios, this is Red Eye Radio.
All across America, he is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Welcome and good morning. Merry Christmas. 7 days from now.
1 week away.
Yeah. All right. All right, in the news, Dan Bongino to resign from the FBI. Yeah. Will resign as Deputy Director in January.
Yeah. There were some questions about it. Actually, the questions kind of go back months. How long he would stay. We know that he had some concerns over a number of items, and that had been out there for a while. And the question was, all right, how long will he stay? So he made it official yesterday. The president talked about it, actually alluded to it yesterday before Bongino posted about it. And so the question is, who will... There were a few names that were mentioned in terms of his replacement as deputy director. Typically, in fact, I think it's almost always been the case that whoever the deputy director is going to be somebody that's already been in the FBI. He was the exception to that rule. And again, it's unknown at this point. I didn't see anything, I don't know that it's much of a surprise, I guess. I just don't see it as a surprise. If there's a philosophical or any kind of difference between him and Bondi, I don't know that there was any clash with Kash Patel. I hadn't really heard any of that. It more was about, how things were being handled. I think to a large extent, the Epstein files thing and a couple of other items along the way. And then you have, all right, maybe it's time to go back to what I was doing. The president said yesterday that he thinks Bongino wants to go back to his broadcasting career. And that would make sense. It's being run by his wife, but he still has a media company that he owns and runs. So it would make sense that he returns. But don't know who the deputy director will be. Really, most of the talk, I think, over the last 6 to 8 weeks has been at the FBI, about Kash Patel and how long he might be in place as director. And, we had a concern with Bondi as AG, a couple of concerns.
As Susie Wiles made clear.
My gosh. And so, Could there be more changes there at the DOJ and at the FBI beyond Bongino? And I think it's quite possible. I don't know when that would happen.
Yeah, I don't know precisely why he quit. Of course, he when he was doing his show was talking about the fact of his belief that January 6th was an inside job.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Sean Hannity asked him about it. He said, "Well, that's when I was a talk show host, getting paid for my opinions and speculating what might happen. And when I got into the office, you become an investigator, and we investigated it, and that's what we." That's what we found.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact is, there are some people not happy with that. I look at it and go, okay, you could speculate what it is. I guess we all speculate to that matter, but when he got into his investigative role, you investigate and you come out with, what the truth is.
Mm-hmm.
And, so that's what matters. But the fact is, when you say something and it ends up being something different, there's always going to be someone maybe in your audience that doesn't like that.
Well, it's just like with whether it's January 6th or Epstein or any
the Epstein, I can bring Epstein up.
It's the question is, how do you satisfy everyone? And the answer is there's no way to do that. You can't. You're not going to satisfy everyone, and it doesn't matter what you do if you do all the work and how much credibility you have going in. As you take on the job, if you go into that, investigation and come back with nothing new, if you went and came back with a ton of new stuff, there would still be a significant portion of the group that was calling for the investigation that's saying, no, that's not everything. We're not seeing everything. You're keeping things from us. That's just the nature of those types of investigations. And there really is no way to appease everyone.
Yeah, I would not be surprised. I don't know if he'll say it if he starts back his show. By the way, just so people know, his company, just so there's no perceived conflict of interest here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have nothing to do with it, but Dan Bongino's crew works right next door to us.
Right.
I mean, you walk out our door, it's one. The other door is a foot away.
Mm-hmm.
So his crew is all, right there. And great people, just great people.
Yeah.
And everything I know about, Dan as a radio talk show host, completely above board.
Oh, yeah.
Moral, credible, in the people that work with him every single day. I don't get a chance to listen when he was doing his show. I don't get the chance to listen much. So I probably would be safe to say I wouldn't agree with everything that he has to say, just like he wouldn't with me.
Mm-hmm.
There's not many people I agree with 100%,
right?
Except Dad. But I wouldn't be surprised if he comes out and in a generic way comes out and says, I just couldn't get the things done that I wanted to get done. And I'm saying that I wouldn't be surprised if he said that. I'm not saying that he will. And that's simply because when you're a radio talk show host, it's a different animal than
the list of demands that you would have, right?
Right.
Like we do.
Here's what I want to get done.
Here's what I want them to do. That's what we do for a living. We want them to, cut spending. We want them to do this. We want them, or on an investigation, we always have questions. And if Dan ends up saying anything like that, it probably would be the truth.
Right. And
because as deputy director, you're not going to be making the calls on those investigations and how they're handled. That goes up to the AG. That goes to the director. And those are things that could be enormously frustrating.
And when you do what we do, I can see you've been there 6 months and you're like, or he was there, I think, 10 months now. It's like, I just can't get anything done that I want to get done. So why am I here? I'm
exactly.
Go back to my old job. The other thing is just a part of the disclaimer. His company has a contract with our company.
Yeah, right.
Because his company works with our company, just so people. But the other part of the disclaimer that has affected none of our opinions.
No.
on the entire situation.
And we don't have any inside information one way or the other.
No, we don't. None.
In fact, I was here the other day, and the crew was here. I did not stop and talk to them because this buzz has been going on for a while. I didn't stop. First of all, they were busy, but I quite often will stop and have a conversation with Jim Parody, his producer, and
they're all great people. They really
are.
Yeah.
And Vince Colonnese, who is excellent, and all those guys associated with him. But there is no inside information that you and I have. We don't know anything that hasn't already been put out there by Dan. So we don't know anything more. But it's expected that he would return to the media. I don't know why he wouldn't. And I think, again, there is going to be, I would express that frustration because I can't imagine how frustrating it would be going in, because it would be like when people ask us, well, why don't you run for Congress? Why don't you? Because when you get there, then you realize, oh, my gosh, what a soup show this is. And you can't get what you want done. You can point to Chip Roy. You can point to a number of people. Even AOC said it from her perspective as a liberal. Of course, she was one of the green. She was wanting the whole Green New Deal.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe I'm better served, or that I can do more in a situation like this than in elected office where you have to go in and start playing the game.
Well, it's a completely different profession, too. People assume you're in the media, then the next logical thing is you'd like to be a bureaucrat.
Right.
No. I mean, it's like, would I want to play professional football because I do this, or somebody who's a sports talk show host? Well, wouldn't you love to play sports? Hell no.
Yeah, right.
I don't want to get a concussion. I'll cover it, but I thank God that I never, I was such a short human being. Graduating from high school, I probably was 5'2.5", 5'3", and I didn't grow till I was into my 20s. When I wanted to play sports so bad, I look back now and I thank God I never, got into playing football or hockey or, because you suffer in your 50s and 60s.
Well, and
because of the injuries that you take. So,
yeah.
And so my point is, I always wanted to be somehow in broadcasting, and radio really led that from the time that I was a child.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing what I want to do. I don't want to do that. I mean, it's simply, and people just assume, well, you do this. Well, why wouldn't you do that? Because it's a completely different animal that I would have no interest in doing. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's part of the reason for Dan. They're two completely separate things. Creating a radio show is completely a different profession than being a bureaucrat or a member of Congress.
And, at the time that he was chosen as deputy director, there was a different, almost euphoric feel surrounding the administration because of what needed to happen internally on a number of fronts, including the FBI. And you want to root out the rot. You want to, and this is why Hegseth was the choice at the Department of War, Department of Defense. That's, again, part of it was, all right, we need to change a lot of things internally in order to reset. And so, him accepting the job, there was no surprise because that's kind of the guy he is. He is one of those, I would say roll up your sleeves, but he almost always wore T-shirts. So.
No, but he served this country, and I do believe.
Yeah.
And by the way, I've never met Dan, just so people know. We know his staff.
I haven't either.
I've never met him, but everything that I know him, and you hear the buzz inside.
Mm-hmm.
You hear the buzz inside of our company, or just in general.
I know how he treats his people.
In the
I
industry.
know that because they tell me, and he is a great guy to work for.
And he also is somebody who has served his country, and I believe that was part of it. And I do believe, and I think he is this comes from sort of what he has stated in the past, he loved doing what he was doing. He went to do it because of a sense of obligation and service to the country, and I think there was probably always a little doubt in his mind whether it would be something that would be long-lasting or not. I don't think he went into it with the fact that I'm going to be a bureaucrat the rest of my life.
Yeah.
In fact, I know that's not the case because that's why his company's still around. And,
right, yeah.
And he'll all likelihood be going back to it and be a part of our company again. And we wish him all the best of luck, and probably we'll hear more of it. But again, it's a different, complete profession, and there is a satisfaction you get in doing this every day because you get to complete thoughts. And that's as far as it goes. I don't have to implement any of the thoughts that I have through a government bureaucracy.
Right.
And when you get there and you realize, you may say, I'm just banging my head against the wall, or it's not moving as quickly as I like.
Well, and
you hear a lot of people in Congress say that, but it's not, under the Constitution, it's not supposed to move quickly.
And at that level,
in Congress,
there are a set of directives which are kind of counter to the nature of what we do. There are obvious rules that we abide by, but here we get to express every single day everything we feel. And when at that level, as Deputy Director of the FBI, you're given a set of directives and your opinion means nothing. Your feedback might mean something, but ultimately the directives take precedence. And that's kind of counter to the nature of what we do for a living. But again, Dan has been in that position before at Secret Service, and so those were things that he was certainly, accustomed to, at least leading up to that point.
Another way you could relate to it is there are a lot of people that go into talk radio, and you and I have talked to members of our management that have asked us at times before, what do you guys, what's your ultimate goal? I go, well, we're doing it. This is our ultimate goal. We're radio talk show host. And so many want to use this as a stepping stone to TV.
Yeah.
I never thought of this as a stepping stone to TV because I don't want to be told what to do.
Right.
I don't want to go to TV and have to sit in a room beforehand. Here are the topics and where are we going to go with it? And there's 20 people in the room. Right. That's the last thing that I ever want to do. And they go, well, it's the same profession. No, it's not. It's a completely different profession.
Oh, yeah.
Doing that. And so just to give an example that even inside the media, how we look at things, because there is an incredible freedom to doing what we do here.
Yeah.
That you can't get anywhere else.
Right.
I don't think you get this anywhere else in the media unless you're doing your own individual podcast.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe that's why podcasts are becoming more popular.
I think so, because people feel, like they can say whatever it is.
Yep. We are Red Eye Radio.
This morning's USDA Farm Report is brought to you by House Products. Tested, trusted, guaranteed since 1920.
Pigs don't fly this holiday season. Or as Fernando Lugo of USDA's Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service puts another way, if flying or traveling to and from the U.S. from international destinations,
when you travel, don't bring any pork products with you.
This is part of U.S. safeguards to keep African swine fever, a disease that could threaten our nation's pigs and pork supply if an outbreak were to occur within our borders. Travelers going to and from Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands should be especially mindful, as those territories are ASF protection zones, created as a barrier to keep the virus out of the U.S. mainland. Lugo adds, if you do have pork products when entering the country via airport or port,
please tell and declare the customs officer that you have any pork products and they will take the proper action.
More details on ASF and prevention are available online at www.aphis.usda.gov/stop-ASF. All one word. I'm Rod Bain reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.
This report brought to you by Cenex Fuels and Lubes.
We'll be right back with more Red Eye Radio with Eric Harley and Gary McNamara.
We are Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Good morning. Coming up following the bottom of the hour, energy stuff. And there's just so much that's been piling up here. Look here, all these stories that we have here in this pile. Reports of the death of the gasoline car greatly exaggerated. Ford learns a brutal EV lesson.
Oof.
New York State forced to shift back to fossil fuel friendly in new energy plan. California's stranded solar assets. Just so many energy stories out this week, and it's like we've said for the last couple of decades. Well, with our opinion over the last couple of decades, I guess we can safely say we told you so.
Yep.
Coming up next.
Walking in a winter wonderland. Gary and Eric on Red Eye Radio.
We are Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Download our Red Eye Radio app today and listen when you want. I'm just laughing. Winter Wonderland.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
It's going to be 80 degrees on Christmas Day here in the North Texas area.
That's why I was laughing when we were coming in there. I think I took a screenshot of it yesterday. Here we go. Monday here in the Dallas area. Monday, 78. Tuesday, 79. Wednesday, 76. Thursday, 79. It depends. It might have changed. This is like from 16 hours ago. Friday, 80.
Yeah. Yep. I love it.
Now, I haven't checked. I'll be back visiting Dad. I'm assuming it's not going to be the same back there.
In Buffalo, probably not.
Last
a few degrees cooler. Maybe.
Last I checked, I think it was going to be like in the 30s during the day and in the 20s at night, something like that. Let me just quickly look here for next week. All right, Monday 32-29, Tuesday 39-29, Wednesday 33-27, Christmas Day 41-34. Friday, 38-28, Saturday, 33-21. So
we only have one night that's going to get into even the 30s between now and the rest of the year, according to the forecast. I mean, at night, it's going to be in the 50s. I love that. I just love that.
You know, I love visiting Dad, but there's a tiny part of me that's saying to myself, it sure would be nice to stay here the entire time we're off.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be so nice.
Yeah.
It's the long range. Yeah, oh my gosh. All the way, look at that. Every single day. I mean, all the way to, because, 2 weeks from today will be New Year's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be like New Year's Eve, 65-47. Yeah, I think this calls for a fire pit session. I haven't done that in a while.
I don't think it's cold enough for a fire pit.
Actually, if it's 65 during the day, by the time it gets to be 7 o'clock, it's down into the upper 50s. It's okay for a fire. It's
I guess if you want to cook something or something. Yeah, go
ahead. So, yeah, I've got used to it, though, because this is my 25th Christmas in Texas. This is my 25th since I've lived here. Yeah. And then I lived 3 years so it's 28 years overall I've been in Texas in my career. And I always said, I'll never get used to Christmas here without snow. But because our lawns go dormant, it's not a brown color. What is it? What's that color?
I don't know.
Sandy? No, not.
Yeah.
Blonde?
It's a dead grass brown.
The dead grass brown has replaced snow for me. That's winter for me now.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, you see all the beautiful. I put one on Facebook yesterday. beautiful picture that was taken. Here we are, a week from Christmas, and the fall colors have arrived here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
No, seriously,
it's beautiful.
It's just gorgeous.
I know.
In my neighborhood, I live in a really old neighborhood, and it's just gorgeous. And now I'm looking. My forecast for my neighborhood says 81 on Christmas Day.
That is great.
I love that. It's
That's the strangest thing for me, though, because I've always gone back in October, like the third week, just to see the fall leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And then to have almost 2 months later, you repeat it again when you come back to
I
Dallas.
love it, man.
It's like, wow, it's great.
Now, we've
but it is
had,
weird.
there have been a couple of times when you went to, over the years, where you went to
Twice.
Buffalo, and we had a white Christmas here.
2 times. And no white Christmas there.
Yeah.
There was no white Christmas in Buffalo, and it was 2 white Christmases here.
Yeah.
And then when I came back, the snow had melted. By the time I get back a couple of
I remember
days
the
later.
one time it was because I had cooked, and the girls wanted to go see a movie. And I said, okay, no problem, because I'm going to spend the next couple hours cleaning up and everything else. So you guys go hit the movie. While they were at the movie theater, which isn't far from the house, their car was just covered in snow. I mean, it came down huge clumps, and that was pretty cool. Didn't, again, as you mentioned, didn't last long. Also pretty cool, because we didn't really have any driving issues with it. But I love being able to get out and go do things, being able to travel, get in my truck and go wherever I need to go, do projects. I've got 2 or 3 projects I'm going to do, and get those done. That to me, it's almost like spring. The only problem is that if we never do get a cold spell, we'll probably get one day. But if we never get a cold spell, then of course I'm gonna have some problems with weeds and everything else. But
well,
I'll take it. I'll take the exchange.
Yeah, that's in the back of my mind. It's like, boy, are we going to pay for this like in February or something with a good ice storm
The
or something.
snapback, right?
Yeah, it's like
hopefully not. Hopefully it's a mild winter all the way through. I'm okay with that. I have a friend who's from Texas, and she moved out to L.A. years ago. She loves living there. She's a conservative, but she loves living in L.A.
What's wrong with her?
Yeah, and I said, yeah, but at Christmas time, she goes, no, if I want to, I can go see my daughter in Tulsa, and, it's cool enough there. I don't really miss having any kind of winters whatsoever. I think she said she grew up in the Panhandle. So in the Panhandle, it's almost like being in a different state altogether.
No, it is. That's like, you have winter. You have a legitimate winter in the Panhandle of Texas.
Yeah. So that's, in Dalhart. They could, you'd be 20 below, and it's 80 degrees in Dallas. That's a bit of an exaggeration, but that's an old joke. And she said she didn't. No, she doesn't miss it at all. And now the older I get, the better I am with warm weather at Christmas time.
Well, I was back Thanksgiving, and there was snow on the ground. Mm-hmm. And then I was back just this past weekend, and there was snow, and then I'm back again next Wednesday.
Yeah.
But when I went to my dad's house, because when I went in, I wake up early in the morning, probably like 6 o'clock, and stop over there about 7 to see my brother and sister, who are the full-time caretakers for my dad, and ask if anybody wants a cup of coffee or whatever. But I always get a cup of coffee, and I got out of my car in there is his driveway, started walking up, to the garage door that I open up, and there was no wind, and the snow is crunching under my feet, which means it's probably in the low 20s, but there's no wind. And I just stood there, and the sun was just so low in the sky, but coming up through the trees behind his house. And I went, this is really beautiful for this moment, and the snow was just perfect, and the crunching of snow. Now, for me, anytime I walk and snow is crunching, means it's a little bit colder, and it reminds me of being a kid, and my my grandfather, this grandfather McNamara, and grandmother McNamara lived right up the street. My father, if you wonder, if you go, you're pretty loyal to your father. Well, my father built a house on the street where his parents had their house.
Oh, it's common.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Probably about 10 houses down. Now, when my father grew up in his house with my grandfather, it was basically farmland. And so, but the suburbs started coming in. The beginning of the street was there, but it ended really at his house. It was like two houses on the street.
Yeah.
Then in the 50s, that's when they built everything. And then my father built his house right down the street from there. But we used to walk up every single Christmas night. We would walk up, to their house, or sometimes it was Christmas Eve, and we would walk up, and my great aunts lived next door. It's really amazing because you think about how society used to be. All my great aunts, and these are sisters of my grandfather, lived right next door to him.
Yeah.
And it was just like, wow. It's like, and so, but they put on a Christmas display you couldn't believe. Won awards every year. And that's the thing. One thing I like about getting old is nostalgia becomes so sweet in your mind.
Yeah.
You hear a Christmas song. My Christmas songs are not the Christmas songs that I grew up, with, that I listened to, and, the stuff maybe that came out in the 70s, whatever. It's all my father's stuff. That's where the great nostalgia is for me. And it's music that I really never listened to.
It was what you were hearing.
It's what I was hearing because my parents were into it and playing it, and that became what the nostalgia is. But whether it's music, whether it's old films, the nostalgia for me, it may not happen to other people, but I know for me now, I can listen not just Christmas music, but even other music that was pop music that I heard, but it wasn't my favorite. And now I listen to music not just for one reason, that I love the intricacies, of music and guitar playing and piano and drums and whatever, and, and the layers of music and how it's produced. I mean, that's one area where I look at the excellence of the music, and you understand that, to other music that's quite simple, but absolutely nostalgic and brings you back to a moment in your life where you're like, wow.
Yeah.
That was a great moment.
Right. Yeah.
And you say moment because the moment was great, but I never want to go back to being that part of my life again. I've always loved where I am at the present. And that's a blessing that I believe that's a gift that God gave me, because a lot of people aren't like that. And it just that was natural for me. I love where I am right now. And people ask me, my nephew asks me all the time, my great nephew, because they know used to love playing basketball and hockey, and even though I work out, I can't do that anymore because the joints, and I'm not getting a knee replacement, I'm not getting a hip replacement, I'm not doing that unless I'm absolutely have to. And they say, do you miss doing it? And I go, nope. They go, why? I go, because life is great. Call it wisdom, and wisdom is just learning from all your mistakes.
Because it means every day is new. It means every new experience. If you're looking in the forward direction, then and that's our motto at Red Eye Radio: lean forward. And
for those who don't know, that was MSNBC's slogan. What about
failed slogan
6 or 7 years ago? Lean forward.
Yeah, several years
we
ago.
Always lean forward.
It's because I look at it that way. Is that I'm looking forward to the next new experience.
Yeah.
And I think that's the case, and it may not be the same new experience if, God willing, I turn 90 at some point, but it won't be, well, I don't know, the way things are going, I might still be working, but because I'll have something to say. But I mean, you look at it as, all right, I got this going on, and I want this, and I just want to experience this today. And it really is, for me, about living in that moment. And I'm also ready to move on. I was telling the guys during the break, at Christmas time, after Christmas, maybe New Year, I'm ready to put things up and move on and get on with it. It's just the way it goes. I like my seasons, but I like whatever's next.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
We are Red Eye Radio.
Lines open for your calls. 866-90-RED-EYE on Red Eye Radio.
We're Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. You know, it was a couple of weeks ago when the president was on with Laura Ingraham and was talking about the fact that we need legal immigration and everything else, and you and I were saying he can't sell this.
Right.
You know, he can't sell this to his own party. 2/3 of Republicans want legalized migration to be decreased or ended, a new poll from YouGov.
Yeah.
By contrast, 17% of Democrats want legalized migration to be cut back, says a poll which was conducted December 11th through the 15th. But 37% of Democrat voters want more legal migration, as does 6% of GOP voters. So even when you look at it, I mean, 47% of 17% of Democrats want legalized migration to be cut back, but the majority there even want it to be the same or cut back.
Right.
And Republicans want legal migration to be cut back or eliminated completely.
Well, we said this going in, and, you know, it was Rick Scott in Florida was talking, I think, about immigration one time, and a couple of others were talking about it, and it was like, well, you're not going to be able to sell that. It's, you know, again, we understand why in certain states, you know, you might want to sell it, but as a president who really has been the border president, if you think about it, there's no way you're going to sell that yet. I don't know how long it's going to take for America to come back around.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One.